All right. Welcome back to musicmoose.org. We hope you've been having a good time plowing through all this wonderful instructional material. And we're going to, in this lesson, we're going to emphasize a little bit more on some rhythm and percussiveness of the guitar, some backup technique when another instrument is soloing. There's a certain technique in the bluegrass realm that you might have heard about called the chop or the chunk, whatever some people like to call it. It emphasizes that offbeat, the and, in the 1 and 2 and 3 and you'll notice that a couple styles of music actually emphasize this type of accent on the rhythm. Actually, reggae and bluegrass are very similar. If you slowed bluegrass down and played it kind of reggae style, you'll notice that that off time chop is kind of the same. Polka, ska, a couple kinds of music actually have this type of accent. So we do like to explain these kind of things about, really, when it comes down to it, how music is music and it's just been given different labels depending upon what different type of styles have emerged from music theory. We all know of rock, jazz, blues, reggae, country, bluegrass, classical. All these styles have come from the same principles. So one large melting pot of music is the way we like to look at it. And with this percussive chop, okay, if I just play a straight 4/4 rhythm, common time, and if I just go ahead and, just for right now, I'm going to just strum a G chord for a little while and show you a couple different ways to accent the rhythm. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and you see I'm doing a 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. That's one pretty basic style of getting a good strong rhythm going. It's a good type of rhythm to play behind a vocal line. It's nice and full. It's not too busy. Of course, when things get a little more intense, when the fiddles and mandolins and banjos are going, you're going to want to kind of accent your rhythm a little differently. And I'm always a firm believer in, I know I've mentioned it in previous lessons, about every time the progression comes around and starts over, I usually like to try to accent things a little differently each time, just to keep it interesting and not too predictable, really. It keeps it interesting for yourself and also all the other folks involved, the audience, the players. So if I took that same rhythm, just pretend there's a vocal over this, and now it's going to be the banjo's lead break. Hear how that percussive chop. Sometimes I may not even voice the chord clearly to where you can hear the full strum, because that's actually what I'm trying to get away from. Because you've got that bass chunking in there, you might have a mandolin chop or strum, a fiddle dragging the bow through. Sometimes with all these instruments together, the sound might get a little bit cluttered or too full, so you want to try to stay out of the way of the other players, basically. So with that chop, G run, chop, straight rhythm with a 2, 3, 4, or strum with the up strum, chop, run, strum. You can see right there 3 or 4 different examples in a row mixed together of the rhythm of the guitar, and like we were mentioning, how you can chop a little bit behind a solo or play a nice straight full rhythm behind a vocal. And I think once you start listening to a lot of bluegrass in general, you'll pretty much start to pick up on that idea of the chop. And actually, it's funny because if you come from a different style of music, I found it to be true for as simple actually as the bluegrass rhythm and accenting that one and chop time. It can be quite difficult actually for some people to pick up on that. If you're very used to listening to other types of music and you're trying to learn bluegrass, I know it can be a little difficult. For some people it might just come natural, so don't get too frustrated if you don't pick up on it right away. You know, these things sometimes don't happen overnight. So just, once again, try to have fun with it, and if you've got some favorite recordings you're playing along with, or friends that you're jamming with, and if you guys are all on the same kind of level, you can practice trading off rhythms and leads and accenting each other, or backing each other up, I mean, which is a large part of the role of the guitar, actually. It's not just all lead and fancy stuff. So you basically want to do your best to support the other players without getting in their way. So I hope that this has been informative for you, and keep chopping away there, strumming, plucking. Have yourself a good time. Thanks for stopping by, friends. We'll see you next time here at musicmoose.org.